सिवा जाना कहाँ बढ़ती रहे ये रोशनी चलता रहे ये कारवां दिल दिल पाकिस्तान जान जान पाकिस्तान दिल दिल पाकिस्तान जान.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Dear viewers, dear listeners of Revive FM 94.0.
दिल दिल से मिलते हैं तो प्यार का चेहरा बनता है चेहरा बनता है. फूल एक लड़ी में पिरोए तो फिर सेहरा बनता है चेहरा बनता है.
I hope everyone out there has been having a lovely, blessed day of Ramadan
जब पाकिस्तान
and ready tomorrow for Jumatul Wida, the last Friday of Ramadan.
जब पाकिस्तान
Today we've got an epic debate lined up.
ऐसी
It is the contentious topic and controversial topic in many views
इनके सिवा जब
about the identity crisis.
बढ़ती रहे ये रोशनी
With me in the house, I've got my co-host Muz Rafiq
ये कार
with his Pakistan t-shirt on.
दिल पाकिस्तान जब जब पाकिस्तान.
And I've got the one and only legendary Mr. Monty Panesar. Guys, if you want to contribute to this debate, don't forget you can call in on the number that's on the screen, 0333 444 0940. That number is 0333 444 0940. Or you can message us on Facebook Live or YouTube Live.
घर अपना तो
We want to hear what your opinions are. We want to hear what your views are about this topic.
है सारा लगता है हमको भी अब
We've got the legendary track playing by none other than Mr. Junaid Jamshed. Alayhi Rahma, may peace and blessings be upon his. May Allah grant him a higher place in Jannah.
दिल पाकिस्तान जा जा पाकिस्तान दिल दिल पाकिस्तान जा.
I don't know about anyone else, but right now, man, I'm buzzing, man. This track always gets me buzzing. I can see even Monty's buzzing on the other side of the screen, man. Okay, well, welcome to Revive FM's debate night tonight on Thursday. And in the house with me, I've got Mr. Muz Rafiq. Muz, you want to give everyone a shout out?
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to all. MashaAllah, you know, you've got us into a zone right now. And you want us to get into a debate night after getting us into a nice party.
It's a cricket zone
Cricket
right
zone.
now, man.
I feel like I just feel like getting a cricket bat out now. Let's play cricket right now.
Well,
But
if you got Monty in the house, you're going to feel like cricket. And a big shout out to Monty. Thank you very much for joining us. Monty, you want to give your shout out to all of our viewers and all of our listeners?
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me on your show, and it's a pleasure to be here. To contribute to this, really important debate.
Okay, cool. You know what? I'm going to get stuck straight into it. The topic today is the identity crisis, and a bit of background about this is obviously UK is home to so many foreigners, so many people who migrated here, as after the Second World War, and helped rebuild this country. My parents were part of that generation. My father came here in 1961, and he always used to say that he came here with the intention of he's going to earn some money and then he's going to go back home. It wasn't to be. Obviously, the way the world works, people settled here, they got married here, had children here, and then we grew up in a household which was pretty much, I mean, for me speaking, it was a Pakistani household, but we were part of now the British society. And as growing up, there's always been this discussion going on that, are you British? Are you fully British? Are we integrated? Are we integrated enough? There's obviously levels of integration, and as the debate continues, now we're seeing the course of the third, fourth generation here. A lot of our children don't even speak our mother tongue; they're speaking English, and it's like that they're more part and parcel of the British society. But the question is, are they really British through and through, and how British are they? Monty, I'm gonna start off by asking you a magic question, bro. Growing up as a youngster, watching cricket, if India was ever playing against England, who did you support, man? Tell me honestly, bro.
Yeah, look, it was true. When we were younger, we would because I was playing cricket all the time, and I was part of a cricket club. I was part of like Luton Town and Indians. I kind of like we kind of grew up to support England, because our cricket was such a strong part of me. But what I found really interesting is when you talked about different generations, is that people ask me, do we get equal opportunities in this country or in sport, X, Y, and Z? And then when I look back at myself, when I got into cricket, I actually played for a cricket club which was all Indians, Asians, like people around me. Like it's interesting. I spoke to Jimmy Adams the same. He goes, a lot of people who are younger, when they join cricket clubs, they go to cricket clubs that are of their background. Then, and then through that, you get accepted. They fast track you if you're really good, because your own community doesn't really have prejudice. They just want to see youngsters flourish. Now, the question was, if I was part of a British white club, would I get the same opportunity? Would I flourish? I don't know. But, I'm following the trend of someone who it's easier to fit in with your own than it is actually with a different sort of, different kind of background.
Okay, I want to ask the same question to Muz. Muz is wearing his Pakistan t-shirt, so it's quite clear if England is ever playing Pakistan, who Muz supports. Muz, why did you still support Pakistan, man? What's going on, bruv? You don't even know how to speak the language. That's the worst thing.
I know it's so bad.
At least me and Monty, we could probably speak our mother tongue better than Muz. Muz is like through and through.
Listen, I'm a Punjabi, so come on, man. So if it comes
what
to
tea
Punjabi,
you drink? You're not drinking Karak chai. You're drinking
good old English tea, mate.
English tea. So what's going on with the Pakistan t-shirt, man?
Listen,
why?
Pakistan. Yeah, and I'll sum it up when we won the.
You need to get closer.
I'll sum it up when we won the Champions Trophy a couple of years ago, where Nasser Hussain on commentary said, "This is Pakistan," after dropping Kohli the ball before and then taking Kohli the ball after. And 1 minute up, 1 minute up, 1 minute down. Yeah, that's why you support Pakistan. But you know what? It has probably been embedded in me that all these years, where obviously Monty's grown up, and he's then eventually said, okay, yeah, England has always been what he supported. But for us, it's just been embedded from fathers to forefathers. Winning the '92 World Cup. Since then, it's just been embedded inside you. It's a part of your DNA that you have to support Pakistan cricket team, regardless of whether you know the language or not. It's just been part of me to support the Pakistan cricket team.
But it's quite interesting, isn't it? We're talking about cricket. Obviously, we got Monty here, legendary cricketer. Monty, if you can tell us a bit more about your sort of like achievements and the kind of barriers that you broke. But one of them, which was very evident, was that you were the first person who wore a turban and played for England at such a high level. Tell us about that. Tell us about your journey.
Yes.
And what were the obstacles you sort of faced? And then whenever me and Muz won, we'll just jump in and sort of like ask you further questions.
Yeah, like look. Like I said, I was part of Luton Town and Indians, which was all sort of Indian Pakistanis. Just brown people, really. People surrounded by brown people. People that are found easy to understand, similar languages, similar taste food, similar music. So I was brought up in that kind of environment, which everyone loved playing cricket. We all played cricket together. Then we had like a mini World Cup that used to go on every year: England, West Indies, Pakistan, India. And when it came to like diversity, like I know we talk about now, diversity issues, barriers, and all that. You never thought of it then. You thought sport as just playing against each other, the best against the best, and it was just way of life to think, well, it's okay. It's actually we're in a country where, you know, predominantly, you know, there's more British white people here, and we've always looked, because of the British Empire, we always looked at people in the, you know, in that above us. We thought, well, you know, whatever they say, we just listen to. We work hard and we get through the system, and that's all it was. I never questioned the system. I never thought, you know, institutional racism, all these different terms exist. But now with what happened with George Floyd, it's like, wow, there's so many different questions that people come across. But you know,
So
is it making you soft now as
so
a
you
person?
so you yourself, you're saying you didn't personally experience that, you know, as you were coming up the ranks in that scene.
It's the intention, isn't it? It's like if you're looking out for it, oh, are they being racist, or is it a glass ceiling? But if your mindset is, no, I'm just gonna, whatever's obstacles thrown my way, I'm just gonna get to the top. So you know, it could be any system. So you look at in South Africa, they have the quota system, but they produce some fantastic cricketers like Makai Ntini, Hashish Amla. You know, that system's a bit more probably, you know, more complex than here.
Yeah.
My question is actually, it's your attitude and mindset to any system that you're involved. You know, you can, with all these debates that we're having now, I think you can sort of stop yourself getting to the top because you say, well, because of this obstacle or that obstacle.
It's sort of like looking for excuses.
Yeah, you can easily look for excuses.
Yeah, you don't need to go far to find
pull out
excuses.
the race card and say, yeah, I'm just not getting the opportunity, and then you just don't do anything about it. Or you say, no, it's a challenge. Fine, these obstacles are in my way. I'm going to find a way to get to the top.
That's
You know,
quite.
so many different sports people have done it around the world. Look at Tiger Woods, you know, probably the most successful black golfer. Michael Jordan, you know, amazing. So, you know, it's possible. It's. I think it's all to do with your mindset.
That's interesting. Muz.
No, I mean, I think, yeah, I do agree that there is an element of mindset, and there is that, you know, you've got to have that drive where probably people like Monty, you know, was driven on, okay, I need to have a cricket career. I need to ensure that I get somewhere. So there was a target, there was a goal. But what's concerning is that there is that mindset that even probably till now, that when players are coming through, and there's some great players out there who are coming through, a lot of cases right now that are talking about this institutional racism that is occurring in the cricket pitch. And you have people, especially youngsters, talented youngsters who potentially are not as strong as us guys, who feel that it's natural stumbling block and it's a career that they want, it's a progression that they want, and it's something that they really desire. But they don't have the willpower and the strength to say, you know what, I know I'm not going to make it. What's the point? You know, let me just go into the normal stereotype professions and just go and join that rather than following my dream. And I think a lot of players, unfortunately, in the past, missed out. You know, I think that was evident that there were so many talented players that potentially missed out. Whether they finally reached the county circuit, just to get to the county circuit was so difficult, let alone, you know, coming into the original setups of joining a team and whatever. Joining a team, you want to have fun with your lads, your crew, you know, you're having a good time. Then you want to take it seriously and go to the, you know, the county level. To get into that level, it was a hurdle where people thought, it's not going to happen. Thinking international was well out your depth that, you know, internationally you would get in. Of course, Monty broke the barriers, but I think still there is the case that, you know, people find it very difficult.
That's quite interesting because I think, you know, me, I went to like a predominantly white school. I was in Chadwell Heath, you know, and I think that it sort of happened that I felt a lot more comfortable moving around with Asian people, and I've always felt like that. And when I talk to people who are sort of like my peers, they would probably say the same thing. You know, and we'll sit down in the coffee shops and, you know, and talking about these issues and, you know, where we belong, etc., etc. And, you know,
You must have been quite happening if you went coffee shops when you was a young kid.
Coffee shop, bruv.
Yeah,
I'm not going to tell you what kind of coffee shop. Just
okay.
chill with it, bruv. Yeah,
It.
this is going out live on air, man. But what's it called? Yeah, look, the point I was trying to make is, that the these discussions. I mean, I used to always hear that, look, we're here, we don't know when this country is gonna kick us out, when we're gonna need to go back to migrate back to where we came from, back to Pakistan. You know, we all experience, and I don't know why, you know, well, I do know why. Some of the reasons why they were saying this, our elders, was because they experienced that racism firsthand themselves. There was part of society that was very welcoming. There was part of society that they saw that they saw a lot of opportunity here, but at the same time there was that you know, the continuous looking over your shoulders element as well. And but in your experience, Monty, off the cricket field, you know, growing up in school, what was it like? Did you ever experience this kind of racism? Have you ever experienced racism?
Well, look, I'm sure I must have experienced, you know, some sort of racism, right? Because we all know racial discrimination, you know, does exist in society, let alone sport. I think sport is a vehicle for people to demonstrate their behaviors and their thoughts of what they think of, you know, society in general of different classes and races, right?
Yeah.
But then when your mindset is not, when your mindset is thinking, actually, you know what, my goal is to play for England, and I don't care what's in the way. I'm just not going to let, let's say, the race stop me or anything like that.
At what point did that become your goal, that you thought, I'm going to play for England?
That was when I was 16. I played minor counties cricket. Was, you know, playing men's cricket at the age of 16, and then I got scouted easily, and I thought, that's it. That's my goal now. I'm gonna just get to the top. And sometimes, you know what it is? It's just sheer passion and love for the game. You know, so like we all say, you know, love is in different forms, isn't it? It's in patience, it's in sacrifice, it's in giving. But you've got to then, in cricket, that's how I see it. You know, I can only speak the language of cricket. So for me, it was like a sacrifice, bowling 20 overs up the hill. You know, I'm not getting the overs I want to get, but it's a sacrifice for the team. I love the game. So I did all that because of the love of the game. And then eventually you do get to the top. If you love the game enough, if you love whatever, you know, your passion is in life, you love it enough, you can get to the top, because it's the love energy that gets you there.
And that's why it's very interesting to have your experience on this, because look, you come from originally, your parents are from India, our parents are from Pakistan. Now, India, Pakistan, you know, when it comes to cricket, you know, they're at the top of the game. You know, they've always been like two of the top teams. The rivalry between them is immense. Whenever Pakistan comes to the cricket field, they bring so much drama. Whenever India comes to the cricket team, it's always intense. And so having that, you know, and saying that, you know what, that's India, it's a wow team, you know, you want to play for India, or you want to be part of that, but you yourself being Indian, you decided that, you know what, I'm going to basically play for England, and I want to serve England and, you know, represent England. So that's quite interesting, because did you never feel that, you know what, I would love to be on the other side?
I didn't really understand the system, how it works in India. You know, like in England, I understood the system. I played minor counties cricket. I knew my goal. You know, when you're young and you have a passion for something, you research everything, don't you? Like I used to be a proper, like a you know, cricket nerd. I used to know the stats of all the players and everything, and I used to look it all up. And I used to have my goal. You know, I used to always think to myself, how old is this guy? I want to get the older person out. That used to give me like a sense of achievement. Do you know what I mean? And when I played against sort of men's cricket and stuff. So, you know, I just understood the English system. I knew that if I play minor counties cricket, if I get to a first class contract, if I get this many wickets, then I've got a chance, you know, to get into the team. And that was it. I didn't really understand how it works in India.
Muz, what about you, bro?
Before I do that, because I know you've given me the social media duties today, so I'm just going to come in with it, because quite a few people are getting involved in some detailed discussions.
Go on, bro.
So I'll just read out some of them.
Go on,
so we had Irfan Ali. I understand why you support Pakistan, but you are allowed to change and keep your affiliation with your country you're born in. Remember, you are born here, your family are here, your kids are here, you found a partner here, you pay tax here, you live here, so you should support our country. so
you're gonna die here.
That was
you're
quite
gonna get
a
buried
passionate
here.
plea of people telling me where the identity should lie from Irfan Ali. We've got Armand Dean, who's getting involved in the discussion, and saying cricket was central to the downfall of the apartheid system in South Africa, with the Olivia affair led to the collapse of the Test series in 1968 and the exclusion of South Africa from international cricket.
Well, that's one educated guy there, man.
I mean, I can't pronounce the words that he's come out with, but yeah. It's saying that how cricket was pinnacle in destroying racism in South Africa. So, you know, there are people that are getting involved. There are a few mail messages coming, so I'll carry on.
Keep interrupting. But Moz, I want to ask you yourself, yeah? Like, you yourself, how because when you go back to Pakistan,
yes,
how are you seen?
How am I seen?
How are you seen by the people in Pakistan? Because you're very, compared to me, you know, you're very sort of like, you like your English breakfast, you know, you don't like your chili food, you know, what else is there, man? Hundreds of things I can name.
I don't drink karak chai.
You don't drink karak chai.
Yes.
You know, you don't like the Urdu sort of like mahol, Urdu atmosphere.
I can see what you're trying. You can't say it live on it. I know what you want to say.
You know.
But no,
and then he's got a Pakistan t-shirt, and he's supporting Pakistan cricket team. I just don't get it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't get it, bro. This is why I'm having this, because people like
crisis.
And he doesn't speak the language.
He doesn't speak the language, and he's still wearing a Pakistan cricket t-shirt. Go on, bro.
I'm the pinnacle of identity crisis.
That's what I'm saying.
You need to help me out here.
Yeah.
But you know what? Yes, I mean, going back home, I don't even know if
going back home. Look at that, man. He's calling it going back home. How many times have you been Pakistan? Go on.
Quite a few times, man. Quite a few times, between 5 to 10 times in my years of being alive in this planet. Okay. But yes,
1 week, 2 weeks, 2 week trips,
2-3 weeks trips.
Max,
yeah, I mean, look, when we were younger, you know, we had nothing else. Our parents wouldn't say to us,
"It was a holiday, isn't it?
Son, I'm taking you to Dubai."
Yeah,
that was unheard of.
No, it wasn't happening.
Lads, Pakistan.
That was your holiday.
Pakistan. That was our holiday. 6 weeks in Pakistan in the glorious heat of summer. That is what our parents used to put us through, and we used to love it. Yeah, we used to love it. But you were always treated as you know, as an outsider, as a foreigner. You was a foreigner. So you do
NRI.
Yeah, exactly. You just simply it was like, yeah, this person is a
Velati.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Couldn't put it better myself.
Yeah.
So I do understand that word. But that's what we always felt like, that when we would. This is where I was having this discussion with you off air-ish, that when you're here, you deep down, I don't know what it is, but you still don't feel like
there's something missing.
You can own.
Yeah.
You can say, yeah, you know, I own here. You know, I feel part of here. And even though you're born here, you're
is that how you feel?
Connected. Yeah? I would say so. That, you know, if it was cricket on the field with, you know, fellow other characters on the pitch, whether it's at workplace, whether it's in education, you always had this feeling that you're second. And when going to Pakistan, then you're like, okay,
you're not second, you're third, probably.
Or you're not even on the charts, because you're literally you turn up there and you're just treated as, like you said, a Velati, an outsider, a foreigner, and you're thinking, okay, what do I have now? You know, here, this is the situation I feel here. What is my identity? What is my role?
What about you, bro? When you used to go back to India, you must have got gunned, man. Playing for India, you know, the cricket is, you know, that's like India, Pakistan. That's like a second religion, isn't it? You know, cricket. So, you know, somebody with a turban representing the Sikh religion, and, you know, playing for England, man. You must go on. What was your experience like?
Yeah, look, it was great until I started taking wickets. Because when I started taking wickets, they said I'm a traitor.
Okay, I can imagine, especially when you took Taduka out. When you got him out, oh my word, it must have been crazy.
Or when you got Inzamam out, innit? You know, when he made Inzamam tumble
fall
over
the stumps,
fall over the stumps, bro. What was that all about, man? I
did say to Inzamam, I said, listen, I think you've had far too many parote today.
Parote, yeah. Okay, but go on. What was it like? Honestly speaking, were you sort of like looked at as an outsider whenever you went back to India?
See, it's an interesting thing you say about identity crisis. Like, there's a lot of people I come across, friends, family. Identity means quite a lot to them. It's really important that they feel belonged somewhere. They need to feel like they're at home. Where is their home? Where is their belonging? They go back to, let's say, India or Pakistan, and they tell them, what have you brought from England for me? And then when you're leaving, what are you leaving behind? And then you just go back home. It's just they just want you just got to give so many presents to them. So you kind of feel like you just feel like you don't belong in that country. Then you come here and you think, well, neither do I belong here either. And it's how important is that to a person? Is that really that important? Or what's important is they feel at home within themselves, wherever they are. It could be India, Pakistan, it could be England. They feel at home within themselves. Isn't that more important within yourselves, your own happiness, your own peace, rather than having this identity being involved in society? Well, I don't know.
But the reality is, Monty, look, everybody sort of like wants to have that belonging, that sense of belonging, that this is my homeland. They want to. Muz, do you stand up for the English national anthem?
Oh, well, you put me that much on the spot, yeah?
I know the words, so I sing it every time.
He sings every time. God save the Queen.
Yeah. When it's on boxing, after Sweet Caroline, we get up and we acknowledge the anthem. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Cool.
You're putting me on the spot. Yeah.
No, it is interesting because. This is going a little bit off the track because we're living in a very liberal society, and we're saying that people are allowed to have whatever they want to believe. They should be allowed to believe that. And then you've got in the national anthem, "God save the Queen." But what about those people who don't believe in God? So that's an entire different chapter. But that concept has been brought up many times. It's that sense of belonging that we own the national anthem. But how do you own the national anthem when you don't believe the very first word of the national anthem, "God save our Queen"? But you know what? That is a side topic. I'm going to come back to.
That's for the atheist, isn't it?
Sorry.
That's for the atheist who don't believe in God.
Exactly, and you know what? Atheism seems to be the sort of like default position of a lot of the people that I interact with, who are your sort of like sort of white, your sort of British white counterparts. A lot of them are, they don't believe in God. I think faith is something which is still strong within the subcontinent, and people are still people of faith. I've got a call coming in. I think I'm going to take this call and let's see who it is on the line. Hello, caller. You're live on Revive FM. What's your name? Where you're calling for, and what's your comment?
Hi, I'm calling. My name is Irfan.
Okay, Irfan. What would you like to say? How would you like to contribute to the discussion?
So the identity crisis, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not only Pakistan and India. There's sportsmen around the world that have been born in different countries but yet play for other teams. So like the German national football team, for example, there's a couple of Turks in there, a couple of Iranians. Roger Federer himself, tennis player, he's actually South African.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he plays
okay.
Yeah, he is. So he plays for Switzerland. So there's around the world.
Yeah,
it's where you feel embedded, it's where you feel at home, isn't it?
But look, yeah, you talk about Germany. You had Ozil, who's from Turkish, yeah. From Turkish. But look, yeah. He felt there was an issue, and he retired early. Why did he retire early?
He retired because Germany are embedded in with racism. They're actual. They don't accept outsiders, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so you reach the top level, and yet you still have a crisis, and you have to literally leave. So there is an issue, isn't there?
And I think the other thing that I find is why this discussion, a lot of it is based around India, Pakistan, is because I happen to be from Pakistan originally. Same with Moz, and Monty is from India. So, but I get your point, and that's why the message that we put out and the poster and everything, we did say it was not specifically related to India, Pakistan. It was just a lot of people from they have roots in foreign countries. So I get your point. Do you want to ask Monty a question, Irfan?
Yeah, I don't mind asking Monty a question, of course, 100%.
Yeah, go for it.
Hi, Monty. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, yeah. Go for it, mate.
Monty, India, they play England quite a lot. Your heart, a little bit of your heart must be a little bit for India as well. But overall, I'm sure you support England. I'm sure. But that little bit, the thing is, when you go back, see, I'm from Yemen. When I go back to Yemen, I feel as if I'm walking amongst my own people. Even though I'm born here and I'm British and, I love England and everything, but you're amongst your own. You're the same color. You're the same, you speak the same language. You eat the same food. You know what I mean? When you go back, essentially, when you go back to the country of your origin or country of your parents. So,
Irfan, I'm going to put that question to Monty. Thank you very much for your contribution. Monty, you heard that. He feels at home when he goes to Yemen. A little bit of your heart must sort of be like, go on, India, do this batsman over,
Well,
No?
I think with me, I don't know if I support the England team, but I support some of my teammates in the England team,
Okay.
And I think, as long as I've got some sort of connection with the England team and some of my teammates are playing, they've played cricket with, I would always, got that, I'm supporting my teammate rather than supporting the nation. So,
Yeah,
but when I watch football, then I'm like, oh yeah, I support England. I support like the country. But when I'm watching cricket, I feel like I'm supporting my teammates.
Nice.
Okay, Monty, we're going to go on a quick break and we're going to be back in a couple of minutes straight after this break. So stay tuned and we will be back very shortly.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk or contact our sales team now on 07944 565616. That's 07944 565616. Advertise with Revive FM.
Let's connect with the Holy Quran. Minhaj Dawah Project distributes the Holy Quran in plain simple English for free. You can donate £3 and sponsor a Quran to a loved one, a neighbour, a colleague or a friend. We distribute Qurans totally free of charge across the whole UK, including in prisons. Please call us now to contribute on 0300 030 1951 or email us on dawah@minhajuk.org.
Need your tyres checked? Have a flat or a nail in your tyre? Don't panic. Visit B1 Tyres. Our professional and friendly team will have you back on the road in no time. We stock over 3,000 tyres and have some of the best prices in town. Wheel alignment, alloy gaiters, and wheel refurbs are just some of the services that we offer. So call us on 0203 875 3525 or visit us at B1 Tyres, Unit B, 43 to 49 Fowler Road in Hainault. B1 Tyres, the garage you can trust.
मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन में आपका अतिया जिंदगी की उम्मीद आपकी मदद से मुमकिन हुआ। दुनिया भर में 30 लाख से ज्यादा खवातीन, बुजुर्गों और बच्चों तक साफ पानी की फ्राहमी, मुतासरा इलाकों में हंगामी इमदाद, यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों की दादरसी। इस साल हम आपके ताउन से और आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं। अपनी ज़कात, सदकात और खैरात के जरिए इन मंसूबों का हिस्सा बनिए। अभी कॉल कीजिए 0300 3030 777 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org.
With over 40 years experience in the industry, Plachette Carpets is the place to go for all your carpets, laminates, linos and wood flooring. We have an established network of suppliers, which means we can offer some of the best prices in town. We offer free estimates, free measurements and now even free fitting. Call us now on 0208 472 8568 or visit us at 157 Plachette Road, Upton Park, London, E13 0QZ.
Now we're gradually coming out of lockdown. We can finally get out of the house and do some of the things we've all been missing, like meeting friends over a takeaway coffee or visiting family for a barbecue. Around 1 in 3 people who have COVID-19 have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. That could be your friend, relative, or even you. Help stop the spread by reducing travel and meeting outside. Let's take this next step safely. Remember, Hands, face, space and fresh air.
अब हर कोई हफ्ते में 2 बार मुफ्त कोविड-19 टेस्ट कर सकता है। आधे घंटे के अंदर नताइज आपके सामने। इससे ये पता चलता है कि आप अपने प्यारों की हिफाजत के लिए जो कर सकते हैं वो कर रहे हैं। आपके दोस्त, आपके साथ काम करने वाले साथी और आपकी जिंदगी में फिर से आगे बढ़ने की ख्वाहिश। अंदाजन 3 में से 1 शख्स ऐसा है जिसमें बज़ाहिर कोविड-19 की कोई अलामात दिखाई नहीं देती, मगर अनजाने में वो उसे फैला रहा है। वो आपका कोई दोस्त, रिश्तेदार, काम का साथी या आप खुद भी हो सकते हैं। रैपिड टेस्ट बहुत आसानी से nhs.uk/get-tested से मिल सकते हैं। आइए ये अगला कदम बहुत मोहतात होकर उठाएं।
Revive FM
94.0 on the radio
on your mobile.
and online.
Welcome back to Revive FM 94.0, where I'm joined with the legend Monty Panesar and my co-host Muz Rafiq, and we're talking about the identity crisis. Before we went on the break, we were talking about Monty's career and how he got into cricket, and how being the first cricketer to wear a turban and play for England was a statement, and what his journey was and what it entailed for him personally. I've got another question. I've actually had a WhatsApp message that came in over the break, and somebody was saying that when no matter how much we try, we will never be accepted as British. And this just sort of like triggered a thought, actually, was whenever you fill in a passport form, or whenever you fill in any kind of form, you've got your driving license or whatever, you've got certain equal opportunity section to tick, and you've got British, white British, whatever, and you've got British Pakistani, British Indian, and that sort of like could make somebody feel like, we're not fully British. There's still a sort of like a tagline attached to us, because 2 generations up, 3 generations up, our ancestors would have come from Pakistan. I mean, my kids, 3rd, 4th generation coming down, they still have to take British Pakistani. Does that make?
You mentioned about equal opportunities. Where is the equal opportunities when you have to state your identity, and especially for our children's and children's children? How does that make sense for them to then tick it and then feel that they're equal in society? And how will they not have a crisis when they have to tick that, okay, we're British Indian or British Pakistani or etc.? It doesn't make sense.
Monty, what's your view on that?
Well, I think, that's one view which I agree with. We have to this identity thing, but then you look at the other side, like it happens with the Irish people, it happens with Scottish people as well. You look at the Irish people when they have to fill out. There's a gypsy traveller, and there's Irish as well, and it's like, I think it's just a British identity where you look at the other side in Ireland. They have Gaelic football. Do we have that sport being played in England? No, we don't. Because it's an Irish identity. So the British do their best to stop anything that is not related to British identity. They protect the British identity. It happens just across the border, let alone when we talk about India and Pakistan. So, it's the British people. They want to protect their identity. We talk about our identity crisis. They want to make sure that the British identity remains intact.
And obviously, this is something which is questioned quite a lot, actually, that the people from, again, you mentioned Irish, and it is a lot more broad than just Pakistan, India, and the subcontinent, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, these countries. But I think that when it comes to Britain, I think the sentiment which a lot of the time which I heard in circles I sat in was the colonialism, the fact that Britain ruled over India and then left India in sort of like, and India and Pakistan to just like fight it out between them. The whole issue of Kashmir was just left. The railways which were built were literally built to just sort of like ship out a lot of the assets off that land and bring it back to this country. We've recently had the huge debate about statues. Winston Churchill left a whole load of people from Bangladesh to sort of like starve to death, and when you had that history, a very recent history we're talking about, it's quite difficult. I mean, we try to say, you know what, we want to integrate, but integration is a two-way streak. It's if we are trying to basically be part of society, but at the same time there's blockades put up, it becomes very easy to say, well, you know what, it's very difficult to be loyal to.
With your permission, I would add to that. You're talking about history. You're talking about a lot of history that is there, that perhaps has been instilled in people's heads, and they've become a certain mindset. But what about the children? What about the people that don't know about history? Why are they still having a crisis? Why are they still having issues about that we are a certain color or a certain thing, and because of that we're going to face difficulties? Why are they still having that? That's what I'm talking about right now, that you have this situation occurring as well. And that is still happening in this day and age, where our youngsters or our generations who don't know this history that you've just mentioned are still struggling with their identity.
Well, are they still struggling? Monty, I mean, what's your...
Look, absolutely.
You must work with a lot of youth, young people. So, what when you sit with them and they talk to you, what's their take on it?
Yeah, like, they all say, look, we don't really feel very much part of England. And one of the reasons is because I can only speak through sport, because that's the only language I know, right? Through cricket and stuff and other things. It's like, some people question, by going and watching sport, is it just a British white experience watching football? Is it really safe for a person from a BAME community to go? But then look at the other side of the spectrum, and then when England won the Cricket World Cup, everyone, all different colours and people wearing the England shirt, we all embraced it. Everyone got together, and then after the carnival is over, it's like, well, that's it. There's a ceiling to the BAME community now. When it comes to leadership positions and other positions, and you kind of feel like, well, we're celebrating England doing well, but then after that they don't really give us the equal opportunity, and I think that's where the issues kind of lie there.
I agree. I think that was. I want to add to that. I think when Pakistan got knocked out of the tournament, there was a great clip by one of the comedians, Tez Ilyas, where he shows that he walks in with a Pakistani t-shirt. And he says, "This is all Pakistan fans right now." Walks back and he's got an England t-shirt on and saying, "Yep, we're all supporting England now because Pakistan's been knocked out." And I think that it was one of those things that when Pakistan did get knocked out, literally the whole nation stood behind England and supported England. And seeing such a diverse team at that time, the captain's Irish, the couple of Asian players in there as well, people did inspire to it and thought, you know what, pretty good. But then, as Monty said, the World Cup's won. What happens next?
Monty, I want to ask you this question, and then I'll ask you the same question, but the next generation, that are coming up, sort of like your 14, 15-year-olds now, do you think that they are more Pakistani Indian or Yemeni or Bangladeshi or Afghani or whatever country their ancestry their roots may lie, or do you think they see themselves more as English or British? Monty, first.
I think it's to do with the schooling and the class system. I think if the children go to private education, they believe they're much more English. If a child goes to more of a state school, maybe more, slightly sort of working class background, you generally find that they support India or Pakistan. So I think it's to do with it's the class in your society and your background and your parents. There's always that question that gets filled out, doesn't it? Oh, did your parents have a degree or not? And I'm sure the parents who are educated, their children tend to support, maybe England, and the ones who don't, working class, because they face more racism, I suppose. They probably think, no, I support my home country.
So just off that point, so the people who are in more affluent areas, you're saying that they tend to identify more as British, but then we have got this gap where not many people are in affluent areas from the BAME community. They seem to be in the sort of ghettos, and the less deprived, the more deprived areas go to less well-off schools. So, you know, the point is that still exists. That barrier is still there, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, because they support India, Pakistan, because they feel that we don't belong, you know, we don't get the equal opportunities in this country. And it's the people at the grassroots lower down the chain who actually feel more racial discrimination than maybe higher up the food chain, right? And they feel it a lot more, you know, and they kind of think, well, you know, we're just here serving, this capital regime, you know, and that's it. You know, they don't feel like, oh, we can get out of this. And the ones who have, let's say, you know, if they're lucky, maybe with a family being, you know, wealthy businesses, and then, you know, or they've had a really good background, then they tend to then get more accepted in society because their behaviors, their tastes, the way they behave, the way they conduct themselves is very sort of British-like. But the further you go down the food chain, you kind of look at their behaviors are more very much like, yeah, they're from India or Pakistan, so they're going to support them sort of teams.
Muz, what's your experience in that?
Wow, no, I think Monty's given a really solid answer, especially the argument about schooling. I think that is an area right now. I mean, you could talk about it's very interesting because obviously having a child as well, you can see how the kids are doing in their own school, and you do tend to put them into schools where predominantly they're going to be Asian, and even if it's a decent area, it doesn't have to be a ghetto area, as you said, but you put them into school where the school is going to be predominantly Asian, so they naturally, that's their comfort zone. They feel they're part of something there, and they don't get to probably integrate maybe as much as we did when we were in schools, because, you know, we were probably quite the minority in schools. But now you've got areas where they're dominated by other races, and all of a sudden you're just put into a bubble. So the kids now are getting to put into bubbles, and they're finding it even probably more difficult to integrate. So I think there will be more issues of having this crisis, because right now those schools have been dominated with, you know, a couple of races, and how is it that they are going to feel part of something when they're just in a bubble?
Okay, and how much do you think inferiority complex plays a part in this? Because I was just talking to a guy very recently, and he was saying to me that he's just had his house done up, and it's done up to really, really good standard. And he said to me, I said, like, so who were the builders? And I said, what was it? You know, and I named a couple of top builders who I know locally, and he said, oh no, this was a proper Gora company. It wasn't these guys. And I just thought to myself, what do you mean proper Gora company? You know, as if though, you know, that a Gora company is going to be better just because the fact that it's a company owned by white people. And a lot of the times I see this, and where you might have builders who are, you know, much better at their trade than, you know, maybe somebody of a different race. But just that sort of like just made me think, why did he say that? You know, how much of that is inferiority complex? Is that something that does exist in our communities?
Yeah, look, I think sometimes it does exist, because you kind of like have that mentality that maybe the British white people are slightly more superior to us, you know, generally because it comes from, you know, the British Empire. So that mindset is still there. And then also just diverting from slightly other issues in sport, like, you know, other identity issue is, you know, with people with gender. You know, you see a lot of people who, you know, change their gender so they can be accepted, you know, as a transgender athlete, so they can actually compete and suddenly feel a bit more accepted rather than the other sense. So there's so many different aspects. It's to do with your race, your gender, to do with also your class, that this identity issue is such a complex subject that you know, you can it's just, you know, your environment that you're around with, you know, and that kind of dictates of you know, how you think about your identity.
Ish, I mean, just to add to what Monty's going towards, I don't know if this is the right angle to take, but I feel personally, okay, you know what, Pakistan cricket team, yeah, it's something about Pakistan cricket team that you think, okay, yeah, we will support them. whether we know the history of the
They've got
country.
Babar Azam in it.
They've got Babar Azam, yeah. They've got, you know, all the greats, you know.
We need to have a debate, Babar Azam or Virat Kohli, man. That's the next debate,
That's
man.
the next debate, yeah, with Monty, definitely. It's a very interesting debate. But what I'm trying to say is that you have obviously, it's Pakistan cricket team, supporting Pakistan cricket team is probably embedded in you and whatever, but then you can flip it when it came to a moment where England won the World Cup. That was a great moment. But what I'm trying to say is that where we've gone through it as youngsters and we've gone through the system, Monty is a pinnacle of example of where, you know, you've come into grassroots, but you've kept your religion. And I think religion is a key tool. Is a key tool in this without a doubt. You can see Monty, you know, that is his symbol, you know, and similar with us. I think where we've been probably okay and being able to get through this and think, okay, yeah, you know, there's an opportunities, we'll drive, but the drive has been to have faith, to have religion, to have a sense of purpose in life and know that there's more to it. Monty was hinting to this earlier, that there's actually more to it
Identity,
than just simply saying I'm having an identity crisis or nation. Basically, there's more to it spiritually and so on. So I think religion plays a big part.
Yeah, I think I couldn't agree with you more there, because I think as a Muslim, you know, we're told from our scripture that, you know, Muslims are brothers.
Be tolerant to everyone, and, you know, all these factors.
And we've got the concept of ummah. And the nation state is quite a modern phenomena. You know, these are sort of like arbitrary lines which have been drawn on maps and said, okay, this is England and this is Wales and this is Scotland and whatever, you know. But you know, this is not how it was in history. You know, a lot of nations were sort of like theocracies. They were based on religion, and you know, that's how the boundaries were drawn out. So religion does play a very important part. And when we talk about where do your loyalties lie, I mean, as a Muslim, I would say my loyalty, as I identify first and foremost as a Muslim, and after that, you know, whatever identity is, British or Pakistani or whatever comes after that. How is that for you, Monty?
Yeah. It's a really good question, because you know, in our sort of in let's say our Guru Granth Sahib, which is, you know, the Sikh you know, religious transcript, the first shabad like we have is Ik Omkar, so Ik Omkar Ik, which is one. So we believe like more in the oneness, you know, and being that good human being, you know, with eating terms. So like when I know, like I've come across, when I sit with a Muslim and I know a good Muslim, when I sit with him, I feel like, gosh, I feel very peaceful with this person, you know. I feel like, oh, so peaceful. I feel like I'm he's making me feel humble as well. You know, like there's a sense of brotherhood, there's a sense of gratitude, as a sense of like, you know, a real, you know, like, and that's in cricketing. When I played some cricket people, you know, international cricket or teammates or coaches, this is a kind of feeling I get of like this is what Islam feels like to me. I don't practice it, but I think, oh, if I was Muslim or whatever, I think this is what Islam feels like. And that's how I kind of identify, you know, people through my cricketing experiences. But end of the day, you know, it's like, you know, I've seen so many of these pictures during the, you know, India, you know, need oxygen, COVID crisis, or humanity right now going on. You're not going to look at, you know, what their religion is, what their identity is, what the issue is. You know, you think if someone needs help, you'll be a good human being first. And I think that's the religion, isn't it? It's humanity is actually the first religion, which even the atheist can believe in. So, you know, that pulls everyone together.
That's right. That's right. You know what? We've drawn to the close of the debate. Unfortunately, it's very, very interesting, and it's a very good point to leave off on the issue of the concept of humanity, and it being the month of Ramadan. This is something which is which we're listening to every night in the mosques. You know, the Quran is being recited, and the message of humanity, the message of love, the message of peace is being taught and propagated. And I think as a Muslim in living here in the UK, regardless of what, your background may be or where your parents would have come from. I think it is our duty to ensure that we play our part in the community we live in. If we see people who need help, we help them, whether that's on an individual level, if it's the old lady down the road, or whether that's on a communal level, on a neighborhood level, or it's at a local level or a national level, whether it's being part of an organization, whether it's doing it at an individual level, whatever level it is, it's about contributing to society in whatever possible way you can. And I think that's the fundamental thing that unites us, whether you're British, whether you're Pakistani, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Sikh, whether is that concept of humanity. And that's what I want to leave off on. And Monty, I want to just thank you very much for joining us at such a late hour. For us, our day has just started. We're going to be up all night now. But thank you very much for joining us. Muz,
Monty,
Pakistan
Zindabad. Yeah, I should end it with that, isn't it? Pakistan Zindabad. But yeah, Monty.
Yeah, just like to say to the listeners, thank you for joining in, and please keep supporting, Revive FM. They do a fantastic job, and this is a holy month for all the people of Islam. So I wish you all the very best with your Ramadan, and hopefully I'll able to celebrate Eid with all my friends very soon.
Definitely.
Peace out, Monty. Thank you very much. And dear listeners, we will be back tomorrow night where Mubin will be in the house for tomorrow's debate night. Make sure you tune in. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.